I love them that love me. Those are the words of the preacher. The writer of the Proverbs, he's talking about God. He says, God says, I love them who love me. And then he follows that up. He says, and those who seek me early shall find me. And when I think of the word early, of course, you think about the morning hours. And my mind immediately goes to the psalmist David. David used to talk about this. He said, early in the morning, up on the rooftop of the house, was worshiping God. Noontime, evenings, worshiping God. And, well, I just think, well, that's a really powerful thing. Any life that's dedicated to worshiping God in such a way is going to have blessings in their life. I just would be assured of it. But going back to the original text, just look the word up, early. And it has a kind of an interesting implication, simply meaning this. It said an implication of earnestness. And then a second definition, to seek diligently. So that tells me that this is something that has effort put behind it. In other words, a determination to seek God. Well, just speaking on my behalf, I find that to be a very positive thing in my life. Because, there's a lot of times in this world that trouble comes. Sometimes disappointment comes. Sometimes just trying to relate to this world in which we're living. And you hear about terrible things that are happening. And then sometimes there's those things in our lives that just kind of comes out of the blue that we weren't expecting, and it just kind of just wants to knock you down. Well, having a heart that says, well, I like to seek the Lord early. In other words, I want to be earnest in this, building this relationship with God, which leads to trust. And that is so very, very key to walking in victory. And to be able to rise above everything that the world has to throw at you. Because you have confidence. And of course, confidence brings hope. And that hope that God is ever present. And He's going to be there in those times to help us through. And to cause us to continually grow in our ability to trust, even in those hard, difficult times. So the preacher just simply says, God loves those who love Him and those who seek Him diligently, earnestly. He says, you're going to find Him. This is Pastor Jack King with the Gospel on the Radio broadcast.